I bid you welcome.
I welcome you to my house.
Welcome to my house.
Welcome to my home.
Hello Horror Hounds, welcome to my horror house. You find me a little bit under the weather on this Sunday afternoon. That's why I'm still in my dressing gown on the sofa, because whilst I was fully intending on putting a review together for you this afternoon, I am just going to veg out on the sofa in front of a comfort movie, a horror comfort movie, and it occurred to me it would be really fun. I'm really interested to hear what your horror comfort movies are. I know for an awful lot of you, the same as me, horror movies are your safe place, your happy place, your comforting place, and they fulfill different needs at different times, and choosing what comfort movie to watch is no easy task. I guess some of you guys might have movies that you'll just watch over and over and over again, to just have some wonderful comforting background noise for you. What are they? What do you have on? What are your go-tos? Or if you're feeling a little bit blue or a little bit under the weather, are there types of movies you go to? I mean, slashers are real easy. You can kind of switch your brain off and stick a slasher on. If you don't like slashers, do you tend to like old school movies? It's a little different for me, I've found, having run this channel now for a number of years. My consideration has to be slightly different. It can't be something that I really intend to talk about on the channel, because then I will have to pay attention and take notes, and that's really antithetical towards trying to feel as good as you can when you don't feel very good. So it has to be something that I've seen before. It has to be something that I know pretty well, and I know I won't want to talk about on the channel. I won't have to necessarily engage with too much. Having done the channel for so long, I've covered an awful lot of movies that I can sort of put in that basket. I found, to my surprise, moving through the Universal Monsters classic movies, that their Mummy sequels absolutely fit this category. Things like The Mummy's Hand, The Mummy's Ghost, and the Hammer Mummy movies as well, I find are really awesome sort of Sunday afternoon chilled out vibe movies. I guess it's something to do with the representation of Egypt and this sort of mystical notion of Egypt, and everything's a little bit hot and sweltery, and the movies that are a little bit languid. It kind of suits my needs at the moment. To be fair, pretty much any Hammer film at this point feels like a nice warm blanket around you, especially at winter. So it could quite easily be that I choose to stick a Hammer film on at times like these. Nothing that would engage me completely though, so I don't know that I'd necessarily want to choose anything with Peter Cushing or Christopher Lee at their absolute best, because I would be honour bound to sort of lean forwards and pay attention. Like, I wouldn't really be able to drift here and there and check my phone with it on. I would, their performances would demand I pay attention. So some of the lesser Hammer movies, shall we say, I probably don't mean lesser, but I'm not really thinking very clearly. What I'm going to watch this afternoon, I have decided, is Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. It's unchallenging. It's going to be like a popcorn watch. Certainly if I put on the first film, I would have to pay attention. That film's an absolute masterpiece. The second one, I think, also demands your attention in a completely different way. It's almost a satire on the first movie, and it's the other end of Tobe Hooper's spectrum as a director. But by the time you get to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, I'll have to call it, because there are how many films now called Leatherface? New Line acquired the property, and they're clearly trying to turn Leatherface into a bankable, franchisable horror icon. The MPAA got their hands on it, so It's kind of a flawed but fun movie. Viggo Mortensen in an early role, Ken Foray bossing the screen anytime he's on. Some real weirdness with the little girl. So yeah, strange as it might seem to people who don't love horror, I am going, as my comfort movie this afternoon, feeling a little bit unwell, I'm going to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it. It could just as easily have been Frank Langella's Dracula, which I think is amazing. I could have wallowed in that. I could have quite easily, while I'm thinking vampires, and Tobe Hooper, quite easily watched the Salem's Lot mini-series. That would have been an awesome afternoon well spent, and if I'm in the mood, maybe I will put that on afterwards if I'm not too tired. Any of the Subspecies movies I could easily have watched. I know Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 is veering towards slasher territory. I don't find the slasher movies don't feel like the comforting warm blanket to me. Maybe something goofy like Freddy's Dead I could have put on. I'm quite happy with my choice here and now. What I would be more happy with is if you guys could share with me what horror movies are your go-tos. What ones do you watch when you need a pick-me-up? What ones do you watch when you're feeling a little bit unwell and you're under the duvet and you just want to kill the afternoon or the evening watching a good old horror movie? Because as we all know, horror movies are our friends. They serve many functions. They can excite us, they can intrigue us, they can chill us. Sometimes once in a blue moon they may actually scare us. They certainly entertain us, and there are types of horror movies for all seasons and all feelings. So I'm going to make myself a massive mug of tea. I'm going to get under this blanket, which is right here. I'm going to prop up a pillow on the end of the sofa, and I'm going to watch Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And I hope to see you very, very soon. Take very good care of yourselves. A massive mug of tea.